Welcome, storytellers and dreamers. There's something magical about a good story, isn't there? The way words weave worlds, spark your imagination, and pull you into the unknown. Whether it's a chilling thriller that keeps you up at night or a heartfelt tale that warms your soul, stories have the power to transport us. In this video, we're diving into the art of reading stories, how to bring them to life, feel every twist, and maybe even lose yourself in the pages. So grab a cozy spot, turn the page, and let's get lost together.
The Whispering Trail. The forest was too quiet, the kind of quiet that presses against your eardrums, daring you to breathe. Mia adjusted her backpack, the weight of her camping gear grounding her as she stepped onto the narrow trail. She'd hiked Blackthorn Ridge before, but never this late in the evening. The sky was bruising purple, and the air carried a chill that hadn't been there an hour ago. Her friends had bailed, last-minute excuses about work and family, but Mia wasn't one to back out. She needed this, the solitude, the escape from the city's hum. The trail wound through ancient pines, their needles carpeting the ground, muffling her steps. Her flashlight bobbed, casting jagged shadows that danced like specters. She'd heard the stories. Every small town has them. Blackthorn was no different. Whispers about hikers who'd vanished, strange lights in the woods, voices calling names. Old campfire tales, she'd told herself. But the silence now felt alive, watching her. 10 minutes in, she stopped to check her map. The trail should have forked by now, but there was only one path stretching deeper into the dark. She frowned, turning the map upside down. Her phone had no signal, expected, but inconvenient. She shoved it back into her pocket and kept moving. That's when she heard it. A faint rustle, like leaves disturbed, but not by wind. She froze, her breath catching. The sound came again, closer, deliberate. Her flashlight swept the trees, revealing nothing but bark and shadow. "Hello?" Her voice sounded small, swallowed by the forest. No answer. She laughed nervously, probably a deer or her imagination running wild. She pressed on, faster now, her heart tapping a quick rhythm. The trail narrowed, branches clawing at her sleeves. Then she saw it. A marker, a small wooden sign nailed to a tree. It read, "Keep going, Mia." Her stomach dropped. She hadn't told anyone her exact route, not even her friends. The sign was weathered, moss creeping over the letters, but her name was clear, carved deep. She backed away, her flashlight trembling in her grip. The rustling returned, now from multiple directions. Left, right, behind. Her pulse thundered. She spun, beam slicing through the dark, catching a flicker of movement. A shape, tall and thin, slipping behind a tree. "Who's there?" she shouted, her voice cracking. Silence answered, heavy and wrong. She turned and ran, the trail seeming to twist under her feet, leading her deeper instead of back. Her flashlight flickered, then died. She slapped it against her palm, cursing, but it stayed dark. The moon was her only guide now, its pale light barely piercing the canopy. The rustling grew louder, closer, like footsteps pacing her. She stumbled over a root, catching herself against a tree. Her hand grazed something wet. Sap, she hoped, but didn't look. She kept moving, her breath ragged, her mind screaming at her to stay calm. Then she heard it. A whisper, soft and clear, as if spoken right beside her ear. "Mia." She screamed, bolting forward, branches snapping against her face. The whisper came again, from nowhere and everywhere, her name curling through the air like smoke. She didn't look back. Couldn't. The trail opened into a small clearing, and she skidded to a stop. In the center stood a circle of stones, each etched with names, dozens of them. Her eyes locked on one, Mia. Her knees buckled, but she forced herself to stay upright. The rustling stopped. The silence was worse. She felt it, a presence, not behind her, but all around, like the forest itself was breathing. Her flashlight flickered back on, weaker now, and she aimed it at the trees. Eyes glinted back, not animal, not human, but something else, hovering just beyond the light's reach. They blinked out, then reappeared, closer. She backed toward the stones, her heart slamming against her ribs. "Don't," the whisper said, sharper now, almost a hiss. She froze, clutching the flashlight like a weapon. The air grew heavy, pressing against her chest. The eyes moved closer, circling the clearing. She could make out shapes now. Tall, impossibly thin, their outlines blurring into the dark. They didn't step into the light, but she felt their gaze, cold and endless. She remembered the stories now, the ones she'd laughed off. Hikers who'd heard their names, who'd followed signs or voices, never seen again. She'd thought they were lost, or reckless. But this wasn't disorientation. This was something older, hungrier. The whispers started again, overlapping, her name a chorus in the dark. She clamped her hands over her ears, but it didn't help. The sound was inside her. She stumbled into the stone circle, tripping over one of the etched rocks. The whispers stopped abruptly, like a switch flipped. The air lightened, and the eyes retreated, fading into the trees. She crouched, panting, her hands shaking as she touched the stone with her name. It was warm, pulsing faintly under her fingers. She yanked her hand back, bile rising in her throat. The forest was silent again, but it wasn't empty. She knew it was waiting just beyond the circle. She checked her watch. 10 minutes had passed since she'd seen the sign, but it felt like hours. Her phone was still useless. The map showed a trail that no longer existed. She had to move, but stepping out of the circle felt like stepping into a mouth. She took a breath, steeling herself. The trailhead was maybe a mile back if she could find it. She stood, gripping her dead flashlight, and stepped over the stones. The rustling returned instantly, softer now, almost playful. The whispers started again, not her name this time, but words she couldn't understand, sharp and jagged. She ran, ignoring the branches tearing at her skin, the eyes tracking her from the dark. The trail twisted, unfamiliar, but she kept going, her heart a drumbeat in her chest. Finally, she saw it, the trailhead, the faint outline of her car in the distance. She sprinted, lungs burning, and threw herself into the driver's seat, slamming the door. The engine roared to life and she peeled out, tires spitting gravel. She didn't look in the rearview mirror. She didn't dare. Miles down the road, her pulse slowed, but her hands still shook. She pulled over, fumbling for her phone. One bar of signal. She opened her Maps app, ready to mark the trail as a warning, but Blackthorn Ridge wasn't there. No record of it, no reviews, no coordinates. She checked her backpack. Her map was gone. At home, she locked every door, drew every curtain. Sleep didn't come. The next morning, she found a photo on her phone she didn't remember taking. The stone circle. Her name carved deep, and in the background, a shadow, tall and thin, watching.